Right, morning champ. So it is 7:54 in the morning and I'm here in the Austrian town of Bad Gastein. It's in the Austrian Alps. I'm staying in a hotel just behind here. And this is a really interesting town because it's a town where all of the former royalty from the Austrian and German empires, the royal families used to come here back in from the 1700s, late 1700s onwards. They came to this town because it was renowned for its spa healing abilities. And I'm just here getting some steps in the morning and it's just unbelievably beautiful. And I thought I'd talk to you a little bit about why I love the mountains. So I used to live in the Austrian Alps 8 years ago actually, and the French Alps 9 years ago. So I did 2 winter seasons working in ski resorts. So I worked in Val d'Isère in France and I worked in St. Anton in Austria. And those were always my dreams when I was growing up to do that. And it wasn't until I was 28 and 29 that I actually did it. So I'd become a dentist, I'd graduated as a dentist, I'd worked as a dentist, quit being a dentist, worked in tech for a couple of years, and then I was like, fuck, I need a break. And I did. I went for a couple of years, went and lived in incredibly free of responsibilities, free of the pressures and the stress of regular society. And I just got to live in these little micro bubbles for a couple of years during the winter where I'd ski most days, I'd get fucked up most nights. And in the French Alps, I used to be a driver, so I used to drive people to and from the airports. And I used to be a chalet host where I'd cook food, clean bedrooms, make drinks, all that stuff, when I was in Austria. The one in France was really interesting because I had my own van that I used to drive, so I love driving. And I realized why I love driving. That was that year that I realized why. It's because when you have a car, when you have 4 wheels that you can just take anywhere, it is the ultimate freedom. And so I was really lucky that I bought my dream car. I actually drove it here from the UK, from London. I bought my dream car a few weeks ago, and driving along the French and German motorways and Austrian motorways now, and just smiling the entire way. Dream come true moment. Because the first car that I had was my grandparents' car. They handed me down their 1991 Rover Metro 1.1S. I'm gonna look that bad boy up. But that was the first car that I ever had. And yeah, I was playing golf with one of my mates a few years ago, and we were just talking because we were playing a golf course where there were some hills, and my friend asked me, he was like, why do you think we like mountains? And just straight up, didn't even give it a second thought, just came straight out of me. I was like, because it gives us perspective. And I said that and I was like, fuck, I don't think I've ever even considered that, but it just came out of my mouth like, wow. But I was like, we looked at each other and we were like, yeah, it does. It gives us perspective. And that's kind of what I wanted to talk to you about in this little video. Haven't made a video like this for a while. But yeah, I'm here in the Germany and Austria for a few weeks. My girlfriend's getting some medical treatment, which, for the last year, I've seen her in a state of, and I haven't spoken about this, but she's been unable to do anything, unable to walk, unable to work, unable to exercise for a year. And I'm very fortunate that we've come to Munich to get her some treatment. And we're here in the Alps just for the weekend to recover. She had her first round of treatment last week. It was incredibly intense. I'm out of breath. But she's responded really well, so that's why we're here. And yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it's been a very difficult, challenging year, not only for her, but for me as the person, so the context is we met when I was in the Austrian Alps 8-9 years ago. I think it's 8 years, coming up to 8 years now, where we first met. And so the Austrian Alps, this is a very, very special place for us. And it was incredibly cool to be able to come here. We didn't know if we'd be able to come away from Munich, but we have been able to, and hopefully next weekend as well, we're going to be able to go back to where we first met in St. Anton, which is on the other side of the Alps. Unbelievable. But my point is, mountains give us perspective on how small we are, how insignificant we are, and how big the world is, how vast the world is. And also the other part is you get the opportunity to see where you can climb to. And I want to tell you a little bit of a little analogy, because on tomorrow, Monday, I have a call, which is like a vetting call, essentially a vibe check call, to start working with my next mentor. And that call is at it's going to be at 11 o'clock for me in the evening, but I'm working with another mentor so that I can gain perspective. So I'm working with someone who is a mentor for people who have grown, multi six-figure businesses. And what I'm really looking for is to gain perspective by seeing how other people have built their businesses and their own little mountains. And I'm going to do that by proximity to them, proximity to other people, and then also gaining skills from my mentor by actually taking his systems and implementing them into my business. And I guess I wanted to explain to you, while showing you these beautiful views, and I'm going to show you the beautiful waterfall. It's going to get a little bit loud in a second, but the importance of putting yourself in a position where you can gain perspective so that you can see where you could go with your business or not. You could absolutely choose not to go in certain areas, in certain directions, in certain ways. And this is a fundamental principle that I teach my clients, is that the only way to build the business that they truly love, look at this view, absolutely insane. The only way to build a business that they truly love is to build it based on their constraints, their dreams, and their idea of a perfect day and a perfect life or lifestyle. For me, I keep it really simple. I don't like being on Zoom calls. I've probably done thousands of hours of Zoom calls over the last 5 years. When I was in my full-time job all the way through to now, I probably do on average about 6 to 8 hours a week of calls, whether that's internal calls with my team, just to help keep my finger on the pulse with how things are going, or with onboarding calls or masterclasses or blueprint calls with my clients, one-on-one blueprint calls that I do. And I've just realized I need to put a cap on the number of hours that I will do in a week, because Zoom calls absolutely nuke my energy. So I only do them on Tuesday afternoons and Thursday mornings now. The cool thing is that because I've got a global client base of over 27 people in, I think it's nearly 30 countries now. He's tallied up over 27 countries, serving all the different languages and major markets: French, Spanish, English, Greek. And yeah, what I've realized is that I had to build my business based on my energy. And when I have lots of Zoom meetings, my energy gets wiped out because it takes a lot of mental energy for me to be on those calls, like for me to be present. I'm not one of those people that can kind of like, there are some people who get energy from calls. Like they get off a day of calls, 6 hours a day of being on Zoom, and they feel energized. That ain't me. That is not me. I feel wiped after just 2 hours straight of calls. And it's so important to just understand that, because then it means you build your business around those constraints. And so one of the things I'm looking for when I start working with my new mentor is gaining perspective of all of the different ways in which people have built their businesses based on their constraints. Because I know a number of people who are working with this mentor, who have worked, and they all have different businesses, which is that to me is a good sign working with a good mentor, because they're not telling you just plug in my plug and play fucking GHL template and my GHL bullshit. By the way, just side note, I managed to cancelled my GHL subscription last week, and Asana actually. I cancelled my Asana and GHL subscription, just paying for those subscriptions without using them. Just wasn't using GHL. Fucking paid probably like 3,000 over the last year. Waste of money, absolute waste of money. So, yeah, but we're not talking about softwares today. We're talking about, like I said, perspective. So, my question to you is like, what room do you need to be in? What mountain do you need to climb? What to go and see? What the view looks like, and how to actually get up there, and who is that? Where are you going to go to next? And here's the truth. Like, I will, when I start working with my mentor tomorrow, I'm committing a huge amount of money into my education, investing a huge amount of education into my education. But I know that every single time that I've invested in my education, I've won. Every time, whether it's if it was a low ticket course back in the day, whatever, I've won. And I know now that every time I invest in something, I know that I will win. And so it just is a no-brainer decision for me. Too many of you, I speak to too many of you in the DMs who you're trying to come up with excuses not to get the help that you know you need, not to put yourself in the room that you know that you'll gain something from. My best clients aren't looking for me to hold their hand. They're just looking to get in a room to see how I'm doing things, to see how other people are doing things. So what's that room for you? And if you're a business creator, coach, or a consultant, and you're looking to scale from 6 figures to 7 figures, that room might be my room. It might be within Scale 20, where I literally help people do that. If that is the case, just DM me on Instagram and I'll show you how to get into my room. It might be someone else's room. Just make this week, commit to getting in that fucking room. And now for the moment I've been waiting for to show you, but check out this motherfucking waterfall. How sick is that? Happy Sunday morning. Go fucking get some. And that was sick. If you want to see like how we do things, I'll put the video up here. Just go watch that video next. And I'm gonna go continue this walk, go get a coffee, have a banging Sunday. And that really was sick. I will see you in the next one.